Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, shout out to big sis Nina Turner, man. So we're going to get into it. As we all know, the Democrats been scrambling for the black male vote. And I seen an excellent video by Nina Turner. Not even wasting no time. Let me just get straight into it.
Sees The View. One of the hosts, Sunny, was in discussion with her colleagues around the table about what needs to happen during this 2024 presidential election cycle.
When we're looking at these polls and we're looking at who is voting for Trump, you've got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump. We've got to reach those people. We've got to reach the Cuban men in Miami that overwhelmingly voted for Trump.
So she talked about the women and the Hispanic men. But when it was time to talk about black men, she called them the crazy, ridiculous black men. Yeah, you heard me right. The crazy, ridiculous black men.
Now, if you ask me, Kamala Harris should have chose Nina Turner as her campaign strategist. I feel like Nina has certain insight that Kamala doesn't have access to. Because everything I heard her say in terms of obtaining and securing the black male vote has been 100% accurate. Now, obviously the topic of conversation ever since Barack Obama came out of hiding is who black men are voting for. Over the course of the last 12 years, there's been a gradual trend of black men moving away from the Democratic Party. And if the Democrats ever want those black men back, then I suggest you hire somebody like Nina Turner on your campaign team. Now, right off the bat, I would say one of the biggest issues the Democrats have with trying to secure the black male vote is they don't know how to communicate with black men. And the sentiment that you heard from the lady on the View, I believe her name is Sunny, I forget her last name, but I do know that she is married to a Haitian doctor, right? And listen, bro, you got to understand me on this one, bro. As a man in everyday life, we're not even used to anybody talking to us like that. And I know she's not going home to her husband and talking to him like that. So obviously she understands how to communicate with the black man. But when the cameras come on, when you get in front of the public, now all of a sudden the ridiculous, crazy black man. And what's really most flagrant about that is the fact that black men are one of the most loyal and reliable bases for the Democratic Party. So really black men should be treated like royalty when we step inside the building. And I think that's one of the easiest and the dumbest ways at the Democrats to lose easy votes. Because think about it, you on a campaign trail, it's election season, you're running for office. Securing a vote to me is like doing business and you're trying to lock down a sale. And the way you treat the client, the respect you show the client, the effort you make to understand the client, that's going to have a direct impact on whether they buy from you or not, whether they support you or not, whether they rock with you or not. It seems to me that they forget about customer service when they're talking to the black man. And I think that the Democrats, if you're serious about locking down the black male vote, first things first, before you even start talking about policy, you have to understand how to communicate with the black man. Now let's continue.
From President Barack Obama giving a stern lecturing to black men to Sunny on ABC's The View, mainstream media, referring to black men as both crazy and ridiculous. Now, family, I want us to back up a little bit. And I want you to understand where I am coming from, even if you might not necessarily agree with the points that I am about to make. Black men in particular, and the black community generally speaking, meaning black men and black women, there is historical context to the way that black men are being singled out more than any other group. Black men are being villainized during this election cycle for reasons that I cannot wrap my mind around, and I'm not even going to try because it is wrong. Black men are the most progressive male voting bloc in the United States of America. In 2016, over 81% of black men gave Secretary Clinton their vote. Over 81%. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger, white men, only 32%. So why is it that folks are trying to browbeat black men when it is empirically unwarranted?
Now, like I said, drawing the analogy towards business. Imagine you have a client. This client, you see him, he comes in every Monday, every Friday. He is consistent. He's dependable. He's reliable. Every time they walk through the door, you know there's going to be money. You know you're about to make some money. Their business is so reliable that they're actually part of the reason why you can keep your lights on. Now, when it comes to the Democratic Party, black men are like that loyal customer. And you would think that because you're that loyal customer, you would get the VIP treatment, right? When you walk in, you could skip the line, right? In fact, you could walk in, you could go to the office in the back with the owner and have a conversation because you are that VIP client, right? You put so much money into the business, man, you are like family now. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the Democrats and many people who vote Democrat, they don't see it that way. They don't think the black man deserves that type of respect. And because of that, y'all gonna lose some votes. Now, the reason why I said that Nina Turner might have some insight or some inside knowledge that Kamala Harris might not have access to, well, it's pretty obvious, right? Take a look up on the screen. Nina Turner, obviously, black husband, black son. So she obviously has a very intimate knowledge on how to, on the inner workings of the black man, right? You notice, especially when it comes to the Democratic Party, it seems that the only knowledge they have of the black man comes from rap videos or movies or television or something like that. Whereas Nina Turner, she lived under the same roof with a black man. She raised a black man from birth. So she understands what makes us tick. She understands what motivates the black man. She understands what language works. And also she understands what language doesn't work. She understands that talking down on a black man, trying to shame the black man, that's not how you're gonna get your results, man. And really, you shouldn't talk down on anybody, but goddamn, don't talk down on a black man. Jesus, especially if you're trying to get something out of me, goddamn. But that's why I said the Democrats, you guys need to incorporate women like Nina Turner into your campaign team, right? Because those are the women that truly understand us, right? Our mothers, our sisters, the women that we deal with, they've seen us behind closed doors. They've seen us at our best. They've seen us at our worst. So they understand us for real. The rest of y'all obviously don't understand the black man. The way y'all talk to the black man, obviously you don't know the black man. So anyway, let's continue.
And even some in the media have said that President Obama did not go far enough in his chastisement of black men. And I simply don't understand that, because what else should President Obama have done making reference to black men and how they will vote during this election cycle? So ask yourselves, why are black men being treated differently from others? And more importantly, why do people of title, of high title, high influence, or not so much of a big title, maybe not so much influence, but feel incredibly comfortable calling out black men only? Ask yourself that. It really is about our construction and how we are socialized in this country.
Now, I want to go back to the lady, Sunny, right here, who was on The View, who made that comment about all these ridiculous and crazy black men. My thing is this. I know for a fact when she's at the house, she's not talking to her husband in this fashion. I know she's not talking to the men of her family in this fashion. But why, when you are having a public debate about the elections, that now you are addressing the black man with disrespect? Like I said, the most loyal and the most reliable voting bloc in terms of men in the United States, especially when Nina had talked about the fact that black men came out and more than doubled for Hillary Clinton back in 2017, back in 2016. White men don't even respect their own women, but they're not getting lectured. They're not getting spoken to about who they're voting for in the upcoming elections. And that's the major disconnect, right? You have this voting bloc that's been loyal, that's been consistent, but they notice that every other demographic is treated with more respect and less hostility, even though they are less consistent and less reliable. So a lot of men have decided to take their ball and go home, either by not voting at all, or some of them have decided to go to the other side. But even still, with those numbers, black men are still going to overwhelmingly vote for Kamala Harris in the upcoming election. So black men should still be getting the VIP treatment. Black men should still be getting spoken to with the utmost respect, to retain the amount of votes you already still have, and to maybe bring some back that maybe were undecided. But instead, y'all still running with the old tactics from 2020, 2016, 2012. It's a new day. It's a different consciousness in the streets. It's a different sentiment in the atmosphere. You can't lock down the black male vote by bringing out, Puff Daddy, or bringing out, Quavo from the Migos, or bringing out whatever rapper is hot at the moment to encourage the black man to go vote. And also, you have to expand the range of black men that you are speaking to, right? Because it seems that there's only one archetype of black men that the Democrats speak to, because they talk about things like, criminal justice reform, or we're going to bring out, the legalization of marijuana and things like that. It's different. It's different types of black men. Every black man isn't coming out of jail, fighting a weed charge. One of the biggest problems the Democratic Party has is this one size fits all approach. It's like they only see one type of black man and they tailor their messaging to him over and over again. But there are different types of black men, right? There are, college graduates, engineers, athletes, fathers, military veterans. Some black men grew up in the suburbs. Some black men grew up in a small town. Some black men grew up in the city. Some black men grew up in an urban area. Some black men grew up going to church every Sunday. Some black men, running big businesses. Some black men are in medicine. Some black men are in tech. Some black men are in law. Like I said in my last video, there's a lot of diversity among black men. But the Democrats are stuck on engaging with a stereotype. The black man coming out of jail, smoking weed and listening to rap albums. Eventually, the gimmicks and the stereotypes, it gets old. And that's why CNN had showed that gradual trend over the past 12 years of black men slowly walking away from the Democratic Party. Not necessarily going to Republicans. Some might be independent, third party, whatever. But obviously, there's a trend of black men moving away from the Democratic Party. And also touching back on the diversity among black men, a lot of us, when we was growing up, we didn't see men being spoken to in this manner, right? Many of us grew up in households where men were addressed with the utmost respect. You saw your father and your uncles and your older brothers walk into a room and move with dignity and command respect from everybody around them. And I guarantee, that Sunny chick, I guarantee, listen, ask your husband how his father was treated growing up, the type of respect his father commanded. Ask your husband. And then maybe after you have a conversation with your husband about the type of environment that he grew up in, then maybe you'll have a better understanding about how to better tailor your message next time you become an ambassador for the Democratic Party. Then maybe you'll be able to secure some votes, right? Because right now you're doing a terrible job. I'm sorry to tell you, doing a terrible job. Now let's continue.
My last point on this for this moment is that the tearing down of black men is ultimately the tearing down of the black community writ large. There is no separation between black men and black women when it comes to liberation. And while others may be ignorant to that fact, others may be doing this fully cognizant of what they are attempting to do, it is wrong and it hurts the black community. So stop tearing down black men. Stop calling them crazy and ridiculous. And for the love of God, stop trying to take away their autonomy and stop sowing seeds of discord within the black community. Can we do that during this election cycle?
Now, listen, women like Nina Turner, they understand the black man. Like I said, they understand what makes the black man tick. They understand what motivates the black man. They understand how to communicate with the black man. She understands how to reach us because she has an intimate access to our world. Like I said, black son, living under the same roof with a black man, shared a life with a black husband. She has a level of access that most people don't have. And that gives her a closeness to her, kind of like a VIP pass to the inner workings of the black man's heart and the black man's mind. She understands how to activate the black man. And that's what the Democrats don't understand. They don't know how to activate the black man. Obviously, you can't activate him because you don't even know how to communicate with him. But women who understand how to communicate with the black man, how to reach the black man, understand the nuances of the black man, those are the women that throughout history, black men have fought wars over, black men have sacked cities over, black men have conquered lands over. And I think really what it is the Democratic Party is just simply out of touch. And moving forward, you definitely need to incorporate women like Nina Turner who have this intimate knowledge of how to reach this specific demographic that you're trying to secure. Now, when it comes to the different archetypes of black men that are voting for Trump, from what I can see, is, the first archetype is the disillusioned Democrat, right? Used to be a Democrat voter, so I've been voting Democrat all my life, right? But they feel like they're taking the black vote for granted. They feel like the Democratic Party ignores the community, right? The second archetype, from what I can tell, is the just the traditional conservative religious type, super, Bible thumping, not really rocking with the LGBT, just very, conservative, we got to save the babies, against abortion, grew up in the church, things like that, right? The other archetype might be the, the super, American nationalist patriot, served in the army, I was in Afghanistan, man, I love my country, oh, say, can you see? Probably got a white wife and everything, right? That's the perfect archetype of black men that the Republicans and the conservatives love to broadcast. So it's some black men that are in that category. Then you got the businessman, right? The only thing he focused on is making money, right? Only thing he worried about is tax cuts and deregulation. And back to that lady Sunny, right? You married to the big time doctor making a whole gang of money. So a guy like that could probably fall into that category. Then you got the next archetype, which is the anti-immigrant black man, But from what I can tell in real life, that anti-immigrant black man is mainly focused on the immigrants coming from the border, south of the border, from the Hispanic nations. The Tariq Nasheed anti-black immigrant shit is really focused on the internet. I never really seen it in real life. I've never come across it in real life. That's just an internet movement. But in real life, the only folks that I see that are anti-black immigrant are basically, you know, the hillbilly rednecks, the racist Republicans, you know, the white trash and the Elon Musks of the world, you know, the Donald Trumps and the JD Vances of the world. Those are the ones that are actively campaigning against black immigrants. But the anti-immigrant black man is mainly against, like, you know, the Mexicans and the Venezuelans and the Guatemalans, things like that. So yeah, you got that black man voting for Trump too. And then you got some black men that are voting Republican just to go against the Democrats. The same way you got people voting Democrats just to go against the Republicans. So that type of behavior happens on both sides. But in any event, even with everything I stated, black men are still going to overwhelmingly come out in support of the Democratic ticket. So because of that fact, black men should be treated with the utmost respect. Just like you would treat any client that comes into your business every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, and spends a big bag of money. And that's the main reason why Donald Trump and his campaign team pretty much squandered my vote, because they failed to do what I mentioned in this video. They failed to address me with respect. In fact, they went on a full-fledged slander campaign against my demographic and against my people. So obviously I can't rock with that. But, you know, like I said, man, basic respect should be the prerequisite in anything you do, whether it's business, politics, or just basic human interaction, man. Address individuals with respect. You know, especially if you're trying to get something out of them. You're trying to get money out of them. You're trying to get a vote out of them. You're trying to get them to, you know, sign the document and to, you know, pledge something in your name. Like, address people with respect, especially when you're trying to sell something. You know, you're trying to sell, you know, a campaign ticket. You're trying to sell a product. You're trying to sell a service. Address the client. Address the constituent with respect. Anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkari. That's Salim, back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the channel. Support the album. Peace.
No. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders. You know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wife. Yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I'm eating no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Back in my city, they loving me. Standing alone, I'm 100 deep. Enemy plotting and still in reach. They try to make sure that we underneath. Trying to make sure that we never make it. Coming for power, come get acquainted. Coming for everything that I wanted. Feeling like Drake, but I really wrote it. Feeling like Kendrick, I'm checking names. Gotta roll up while I go insane. Got so much stress, I been gained weight. Stuffing these racks in this Louis case. One thing for certain, I'm about to check. Keep it 100 and nothing less. Stick with the family since day one. Had to stay down till my day come. Had to stay down, but I'm never patient. Hop on the mic and I'm motivated. Hop on the mic and I drop a classic. Haters can't see me, they copping glasses. Back in the studio making magic. Got a new tape and it's in production. Back on my business, I got a budget. Staying low key when I'm out in public. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders. You know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wife. Yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I'm eating no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Making the news. Making the news. Breaking the rules. Yeah. Know that we making the news. Yeah. Backing up, breaking up.